Hello everyone, thank you for tuning in again today. This is Donnie aka Elevated with Dota Alchemy, and today we got a patch 7.17. So we're going to take a quick look at all of the changes that I think are the most relevant and will help you win some pubs, hopefully. So let's just get right into it. We're going to look at items. There weren't a lot of big changes for the items. We just had some small number tweaks with Yule's, Moonshard, Refresher Orb, Talisman Evasion, and Solar Crest. Not a whole lot to talk about, just a small nerf to Yule's being probably the biggest one. This item is super popular, super good. 40 to 30 movement speed is not that big of a change. So again, I don't think that we'll see a lot of changes as far as like you have to purchase this item or don't buy this one anymore. So just small numbers changes. On to the hero changes. Abaddon, this is a fairly significant one, I think, because level 10 talent has been increased from 20 to 25% EXP. That's one of the highest EXP talents at level 10 now. And this hero has extremely good talents at the higher levels. So, and also this hero is very good in the current meta as far as like the dual off lane or dual safe lane. He's very strong in that kind of scenario because he has a save and a heal to kind of help dominate that lane. So I think that Abaddon is already a good hero, and these buffs, I mean, they buffed his level 15 talents as well. Miss coil heal damage, I think, being the preferable one here. And I would play this hero currently to gain MMR. I think I have like a 65% win rate over 150 games on Abaddon. Definitely a good hero, and he's just getting better. Alchemist Chemical Rage now applies a basic dispel on cast. That's pretty good. That's a nice little change. Ancient Apparition level 10 talent increased from 60 to 90 GPM. Now it's against a 10% spell amp, so it kind of depends on whether you're having a super good game and you're gonna be able to, get more items like a Kaya and a Ag Scepter or something like that. And you might want to go with the 10% spell amp, but most of the time this hero has a very hard time getting gold, and 90 GPM is very nice. 60 GPM was already a talent that usually was taken on this hero. We had a small buff to Anti-Mage in the laning stage, a fairly significant nerf to Bane in the laning stage, and this hero is the laning stage king currently. So losing some damage is good for our games and the professional scene, I would say, because this hero is just being picked a ton. Brain Sap monocost has been increased also at the early levels. Laning stage nerfs to Bane, also nerfs to Beastmaster with 2 armor reduction. This hero is still very strong because of his kit and the way that he has very high base damage and attack speed, which makes him hard to lane against for a lot of carries. But this definitely nerfs his laning stage a bit. Bristleback, small buff to his nasal goo. Clink's base armor increased by 1. Strafe dodge now works against non-player units, so that would include stuff like Visage Birds. Strafe attack speed increased from 80, 140, 200, 260 to 110, 160, 210, and 260. So this hero has been buffed in like literally 10 straight patches. Strafe has been continually buffed. The new Strafe is very strong. 110 attack speed at level 1, I think for like 80 mana is really ridiculous. A Moonshard gives you 140, so only 35 less attack speed at level 1. That's really insane, especially because this hero just melts towers already. Clockwork base damage reduced by 4. That's fairly significant. This hero has been a very strong dual laner for a long time, roamer, and he hit surprisingly hard when he would cog people in, so this is a fairly big deal for Clockwork. They've nerfed him quite a bit recently. Crystal Maiden, small buffs. I would say this is very significant. Dark Willow, same thing. 30 damage at level 10 is pretty big, but most people are playing Dark Willow as a support and taking the cast range. So not a big change. Death Prophet, Exorcism, Spirit Spawn interval has been increased from 0.3 to 0.35. It's sort of a strange change. This hero has been losing a lot in the professional scene. But basically her role is just to be a very stable laner. Don't die very easily with Spirit Siphon up, and then you just group up behind her and push towers. Not picked a lot in pubs, and I don't think that this change is that significant in general. Disruptor Thunderstrike has been nerfed. I think, again, this has been nerfed before, and now it has an 18-second cooldown at level 1, 15 at level 2. So those early levels of Thunderstrike won't be quite as annoying to deal with when Disruptor is just dropping that on your head, trying to zone you out of the lane. I think much needed nerf to Disruptor in general, just because, at least in pub games, this is a very, very popular hero that is just always picked to zone offlaners out. Earthshaker Echo Slam now has 100 initial damage, which means that it will disable blink daggers in the small area around it, which I think it did not do before. It's also just a buff to Earthshaker. Earthshaker has been getting some buffs recently. Enchantress Nature's Attendance has been slightly buffed. Enchant Slow has been rescaled to be slightly better. Enigma Demonic Conversion Monocost has been reduced by 30 at level 1, and actually at all levels has been reduced. Demonic Conversion Eidolon HP Regen has been increased from 0.25 to 4. That is a significant change. We'll probably see more Enigma in the offlane, I would guess. That's a pretty big deal. Getting 30 mana less to use this just would allow you to maybe farm more with the Eidolons to keep them alive, so you can get that double spawn of them. I would keep an eye on Enigma. This could be a nice change for the hero. Gyrocopter level 15 talent change from 3 flat cannon attacks to plus 0.5 second homing missile stun duration. So I'll take a moment of silence for the death of Gyrocopter. Okay. That's a big deal. This was like half the reason that this hero was played. It was because of the flat cannon attacks. Level 20 talent reduced from 45 to 40 movement speed. This used to be, I think, 50, right? And so it's been continually nerfed. This was the talent tree that you would take, is you take flak, you take movement speed. So continual nerfs to Gyrocopter. I guess Icetrogger wants him out of the professional scene, and I think this will probably do it. Huskar talents, 0 inner vitality cooldown has been changed to Burning Spears are pure and pierces spell immunity. Interesting. Late game Huskar buffs. Yeah, attack range 125 to 150. So you choose between those two. That's pretty good. It's a good buff to Huskar. Still probably don't want to go late game with him, but it's a decent buff. Invoker Cataclysm max spread distance has been reduced. So the Sunstrike area of effect, I guess, will be a little bit smaller. Io Spirit damage has been reduced. That's good. This hero is too strong. Tether movement speed has been reduced. This hero is too strong. Level 10 talent reduction from 60 damage to 45. That's good. 60 damage at level 1 or level 10 is way too high, especially when people were taking attacks ally and just this hero in general. 20 talent has been reduced from 20 to 15 HP regen. This hero is still too strong because the Scepter bonus at level 15 is totally broken. And the fact that he never needs to get boots and just gets movement speed from his allies is totally broken. This hero is still too good. Juggernaut, base armor increased by 1. Slight buff to early game. Keeper of the Light, Chakra Magic no longer has a mana cost. Interesting. Leshrac. So that's quite nice. You get 300 free mana at level 4. Leshrac, Lightning Storm cast range has been reduced. I think they have nerfed it back to where it was. We'll probably still see this hero some, but it's weird. They buffed his Lightning Storm so that he would be picked again, and then he was picked a lot, and now they're nerfing his Lightning Storm again because he's being picked a lot. I don't know what they want to do with this hero. Lich Frostblast attack slow has been increased. Frostblast cooldown has been reduced. God, this hero will be the new Disruptor, probably just owning people in lane. Lycan, Feral Impulse damage has been reduced early and scales to where it was. Just a small nerf, not very significant. Magnus base strength increased by 1, so more HP. Skewer slow has been increased to 3.25 at all levels. So for 80 mana, you get a 3.25 second slow, which is 25% move speed and scales all the way up to, I think, 40% move speed. Shockwave damage has also been increased, but this hero is just kind of in a very hard spot, and this makes me think that it might almost be viable to try and play Magnus as a support, because you have this insane 25% slow for 3.25 seconds. 80 mana. Might be good in a dual lane, and then you can just kind of buff your carry with Empower and try and land an RP. That's something I'm probably going to try out just because I like this hero, but he's really hard to play just because his laning stage is bad. Meepo base armor has been increased by 2, buffs to the early game and just in general for Meepo. Mirana talents, level 25 talent reduced from 82nd Moonlight Shadow to 75, not a big deal. Talent's still insane. Song of the Siren Monocost has been increased by 50 and 25 at the first 2 levels. Not a big change, but definitely a nerf to Naga. Necrophos talent increased 16% Ghost Shroud slow to 20% at level 15 against a 40 Death Pulse heal. And level 25 talent increased from Death Pulse cooldown 1.5 second reduction to 2.5 second. And then also Heartstopper Aura has been buffed at that level as well. Night Stalker has been nerfed again. Crippling Fury cooldown has been increased from 12 seconds at all levels to 24, 20, 16, 12. And Void cooldown has been increased from 11, 10, 9, 8. It used to be 8 at all levels. So they're just continuing to nerf Night Stalker because they got rid of the Void mini stun. They got rid of the darkness, setting the vision to a certain level. They're just nerfing Night Stalker. Is this going to be enough to make him not playable? Maybe. Probably not, though, because all of these are stuff that scales as he gets, higher level. And it used to just be, he was really absurdly powerful early on with this stuff. But people are kind of playing him as a offlaner now and just using that power spike at level 4 or at minute 4 when it's dark, that he becomes a lane dominator at that point. So I don't know if this is going to actually make him unpickable, but this hero has been significantly nerfed over the last 5 or 6 patches. Probably rightly so, because this hero is insane. Oracle Fortune's End is no longer disjointable. Interesting. Talents, that's good because it's a super slow projectile, so it's good that it's not disjointable. It makes this a lot stronger, actually. Level 15 talent is now 120 GPM from 90. Pangolier, fixed Rolling Thunder having no effect on units like Primal Split, Brewlings, and Ancient Neutrals. Still doesn't affect Roshan. Okay. Phantom Assassin Stifling Dagger Slow has been rescaled to be better at the early levels. Level 20 talent has been improved from Double Strike Stifling Dagger to Triple Strike Stifling Dagger versus Lifesteal. That's a lot of damage output if you're in a fight and there's no creeps around. So, consider taking that talent. People are already taking the multi-shot for Visage, his, what's it called? Soul Assumption. So, this might be worth looking at. Triple Strike, Stifling Dagger on PA. Imagine getting 3 crits and just killing 3 people at once. Phoenix, Supernova, stun duration has been buffed at all levels. Nice. I like Phoenix buffs. That's 3 second stun, BKB piercing, quite good. Puck, Waning Rift silence duration has been increased. It's actually been doubled at level 1, scaling back to 3 seconds. Pudge, level 10 talent changed from +5 armor to 30% EXP gain. Wow. And level 15 talent changed from 75 damage to 12% rot slow. I don't know. I'll have to ask Jenkins. I'm not really a huge Pudge player, but that seems like some nice buffs to Pudge. Ricky base armor has been increased by 1, base damage increased by 4, so buffs to Ricky early game. Pubs Rip, rest in peace. Sand King base damage reduced by 3, Caustic Finale slow has been reduced at the early levels, so nerfs Sand King early game. Shadow Shaman base intelligence increased by 2. I assume that also means +2 damage, so even higher damage for Shadow Shaman. Monocost for Hex has been reduced at the early levels, and actually at all levels. Talents, level 15 talent increased from -4 second Hex cooldown to -5 second. Level 25 talent reduced from 60 ward attack damage to 50 ward attack damage. So buffs to Shaman early game, slight nerf to his late game. Not a big deal. I don't think these early game changes are fairly significant. The talent changes are not the biggest. Silencer, Arcane Curse, penalty duration has been increased from 4 to 5 seconds, so Sniper Assassinate cast range has been increased from 2,000 to 2,500, 3,000 to 3,000 all levels. Talent, level 10 talent chains from 15% cooldown reduction to 25% cooldown reduction. That is a pretty big deal. I mean, 25% cooldown reduction is really good. Will people take it over 20 damage? Not sure. But this does definitely give you shrapnel faster, which is quite a big deal. So I can't really say. I think if you're planning to go maybe more activatable items, you could consider the 25% cooldown on Sniper. Spectre level 15 talent increased from 8-second Spectral Dagger cooldown to 10-second minus Spectral Dagger cooldown. I mean, I already think you should be taking that talent. This gives you more than 100% uptime on Spectral Dagger, which is ridiculous. Yeah, I mean, 8 stats level 15 is so dumb. This talent is really, really good. Spirit Breaker, and this hero's already really, really good. Why are they buffing Spectre? Play Spectre if you want to win MMR. Spirit Breaker Greater Bash disable duration has been increased at all levels by 0.2. Now the strike damage has been reduced at the second and third levels, and talent level 10 talent increased from 400 night vision to 600 night vision against 5 armor. I mean, 600 night vision is so good, especially how this hero is played. I think that's probably the talent you should be taking. Sven Stormhammer mana cost reduced from 140 to 110, scaling up to 140. So buffs to Sven in the laning stage, as far as you only have to take 1 point in this anyway, usually. So making it cost less. This hero still very much struggles in the laning stage. He's kind of in a tough spot right now. Terrorblade agility gain increased from 3.2 to 3.7. So it's quite a bit more agility on a hero that already has very high agi gain and high armor. So small buffs, or small, maybe medium-sized buffs to Terrorblade. Tiny base movement speed has been increased by 5. Who cares? Tree throw. Splash damage increased. They've buffed this like 3 patches in a row. 150 tree throw splash damage. And grow stats resistance has been increased by 10% at all levels. So they're rebuffing Tiny after nerfing him into the ground. Ursa overpower duration has been increased from 15 to 20 seconds, making it easier to prime 2 sets of overpower, which is what you need to do on this hero. And level 20 talent change from 1 second in rage duration to 1.5 second in rage duration. Winter Wyvern base intelligence increased by 2. I assume that also means damage. Obviously mana. Wraith King Mortal Strike skeletons now have 30% magic resistance. They really want Wraith King to be the Skeleton King, but this hero is just bad. So who knows? Talents, level 15 talent increased from 25 skeleton attack damage to 35. I played sort of like a Mimi SK or Wraith King build where I went the skeleton attacks, and then I also went like Necrobook, and it was pretty ridiculous because you could really melt stuff that way, but you kind of have to play him as like he's almost like a Nature's Prophet or like a Lycan. He's almost like a Lycan. He's like a tower pushing Lycan with the with the skeletons attack damage skeleton spawned. But you know, it doesn't really synergize very well with his reincarnation being a big tanky hero. I don't know. Play around with it. Zeus Lightning Bolt mana cost increased at the early levels. Thank God. This hero is still probably broken. Quite broken, actually. He does so much damage. And this will definitely make his early game slightly less annoying. But usually you're buying a bunch of mana regeneration and clarities anyway, so it's not going to be a huge deal. And you're leveling this up first anyway, so it's not going to be a huge deal. That's not a significant change to the Zeus at all. So that is 7.17. The biggest changes I would say are really just the buffs to heroes like Abaddon, Enigma, and Clinks, nerfs to Bane, Beastmaster, Gyrocopter being a huge one, Night Stalker being fairly significant as well, Io being nerfed, and yeah, mostly just kind of little tweaks to numbers. I wouldn't say that most of this stuff will change how these heroes should be played. Obviously, the gyrocopter one is pretty significant. But other than that, I hope this helps you figure out the patch. I hope it helps you win some more MMR. And good luck, have fun, everyone. We'll see you next time.